up, guys?
Episode 29.
We did it.
Yeah, killer intro. Dave Van Auken, that way. Gillian the Savage Robertson. And this is Mic Cuddles.
No, that's unbelievable. Dude, how sick is this picture, dude?
It was about time for an updated one, you know?
I know. So I just did it. I just did a whole slew of them. The better one is actually with you and me in the ring. I think I have that one in here. I don't have it framed up yet, but I think you had the last one. Do you remember I did a podcast with you in your your townhome, and that was a picture of you and I for a little bit, and then I don't know, but there's been a couple. There's been a couple through the years, but I was like, dude, that was one of my favorites for sure. Dude, commentary with you is always fun. It's an awesome time.
Oh yeah, that was a great time. I was honestly, we were just talking about this before. I had a couple interviews today. I was talking to James Lynch earlier. He was asking me about my commentating and how I was doing, and I absolutely love it. I just love the opportunity to do it, and it's such a cool. It's such a cool outlet that's not. Keeps you in the fighting world, but isn't actually, getting punched in the face.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the longevity of it. You can work. There's a lot of just legitimate UFC top guys, like Anthony Smith is in a main event coming up in 6 weeks, but he's on the ESPN desk every week. I hear the paychecks are pretty nice as well. So it's got definitely a dope thing. I do have a tease at the end of the episode. I want to talk about how if you're not already, you should become one of Holly Holm's biggest fans. And that's called a tease in the podcast business. But let's get into it. How are you doing? It's crazy. It's coming up fast. Kansas City, UFC Kansas City is coming up fast. They just dropped that dope poster of Arnold Allen and Max Holloway in the main event. I don't know why you're not on the poster, but we'll talk about it. I'll talk to the UFC people. But the fight's coming up fast, G.
Oh, yeah, the poster definitely needs a little bit more red,
Yes. A lot of blue. Too much blue.
Exactly. The fight is definitely coming up fast. I feel like it's like I'm more than ready and I want it to be here, but it's also like, are you ready? I do have everything good. Is your weight good? There's so many things. It's just there's so many things that run through your mind every day, but I just can't wait for the opportunity. I'm going to be more than ready the time the cage door closes, and I just can't wait to be there.
I know. It's going to be exciting. Like I said, it's such a cool show, too. It's a nice card. It's a big lineup. Kansas City, I think it's been 6 or 7 years. So I love when it's newer, unique places because that show will be remembered more. No offense to the Apex, and the Apex is super fun, but it's cool that if big stuff happens Kansas City, you will always have that because you probably will never say that again. It's one of those things. It's wild. But so of course the generic question with you right now in this weight camp, how's the weight? How you doing with it? Has it been easier than you thought, harder, or just you knew it was going to be shit and it's just part of the sandwich right now?
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of in tunnel vision, kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm a little bit, I would say, touchy. It's definitely harder to deal with me, and I don't have as much patience for those around me, I will say. But I just feel like it's all that matters to me is right now is making weight and fighting and this fight coming up. So it's anything that's outside noise is just frustrating.
Right. I feel you. Like you said before, you were doing a lot of interviews. I assume it's like I said, it's really that time because, in 2 weeks, that last week, you're there in Kansas City and you're doing all the live media stuff. So a lot of the MMA accounts and outlets, they kind of want to get you now to kind of even pop it probably early next week to give that space. So crazy times right now. All right. A lot of fights to kind of get into. There's a spot I definitely want to start with, but there's a lot more names I definitely want to get into. And like I said, I know we're both kind of in a little bit of a time crunch today. How fucking good is Justin Gaethje? How good is him? I was big time rooting for you. I would assume you're probably rooting for Justin as well. You guys have a lot of ties together. Maybe you have a fun story about him that we don't know. But I thought it was really odd and weird that for one, Fasib was the favorite, and two, everyone I knew in the MMA media, everyone was picking Fiziev. I'm like, is there something I missed? And no disrespect to Fiziev, who is a stud and looked good even too on that fight. But like Gaethje's fought in main events against Khabib and Poirier and the best guys in the world and beat Tony Ferguson when Tony was Tony Ferguson. I just thought Gaethje was a pretty solid underdog for sure.
Oh yeah, and what a fight though, just in general from both guys. Like, I feel like anytime Gaethje's on the card, you know that's going to be like fight of the night. Obviously, 11 bonuses and 11 fights in the UFC, which is like, yeah, exactly. And
$550,000, G. That's crazy.
Still waiting for my one, you know, but that's another story. But yeah, Justin Gaethje, just every single time he steps in the cage, puts on a performance like that, and it's just he's the human highlight reel for a reason.
For sure. It was funny. I was going to make a video on it, and I didn't. You know me. So, of course, I have my favorites and people that I root for more that I have personal relationships with. But easily, I thought about it. Other than my people, I would say the fighter that I would pay the most to see, or he is on the pay-per-view that I cannot miss, is Justin Gaethje. You can't miss a Justin Gaethje fight, and he's in that great spot. He's only fighting the best guys in the world. I think it makes all the sense in the world. Him versus Poirier 2 is next. The winner will probably get a title shot if it is Islam Makhachev, or God forbid if anything happens with or Benny or with Charles. But I think that's got to be next. And that, again, if you give me Poirier, Gaethje too, like, come on, like, just take my money. You can have it.
It's like, I obviously spent a lot of time with Gaethje in the house, and I just feel like there's no fighter that I've met that I'm inspired by his mindset. Like, just the way he approaches fights and how he walks in there. It's like, that's everything I wish I can. Like, I aspire to be. I hope I am when I walk in the cage, because he just goes out there and he fights to the best of his ability. He knows that he's leaving it all in the cage with no regret. He's going in there to either knock the other guy out or get knocked out. For me, It's like, I'm going in there like for a finish. It's like, that's all we're looking for, and we're doing everything to the best of our ability and being content with that.
You know, I think the Savage nickname has definitely stuck. It's for sure. But if you ever do want to change the nickname, we could do like the female highlight reel. That's, you know, that's pretty close. You know.
Yeah, I gotta wait till I start stacking up the 50K, then we can start looking at the different names.
50K. All right. There's another fight I definitely, between you and me talking all the time, there's one I definitely want to get into, but we have to at least give Leon Edwards his flowers, defeating Usman again. And even, I know the knockout is going to be it's one of the most famous moments in UFC history, one of the biggest iconic moments in UFC history. To me, this fight was even like better for Leon. This fight was a better performance. He looked awesome throughout the whole fight. The fence grab is it's one of those things, but other than that, like, he looked so damn good, so smooth. His stand-up was great. Like, that's the best welterweight in the world right now. Like, Leon looked awesome.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a handful of like little eye poke, nut shot, fence grab, like back to back to back, and but obviously Leon put a wonderful performance, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does against Colby though.
Ooh, okay. Well,
I think I don't know. I think that Colby's wrestling is just going to be different, and I feel like he's going to try to execute it a lot more than Kamaru does. So I don't know. I think that's definitely an interesting matchup.
Dude, you're probably a great person to talk to about this, because your style is a little bit like Colby. You guys are the result is different, but still trying to take the person down. To me, everyone's like, why did Usman not do those takedowns? And to me, like, what I saw, and like, same thing, this is just me, normal, right? He's older. He's kind of banged up. I've been hearing his knee has been bad for years. And it's just like one of those things. I think it's super hard to get those takedowns. And with you doing it all the time in camp and in fights, that's a ton of energy, your body, like everything. I would assume that's hard as hell to keep on trying to take down another opponent who doesn't want to be taken down. I just think like Usman didn't have it like he did 4 years ago to try to go for 12 takedowns in a fight. Is that fair?
I feel like his last couple fights, he really has just been like primarily going to boxing or like sticking with that side more and not really executing wrestling as much. Whereas like Colby's, I guess, still known for that constant pace of shoot, and he's gonna put it on you and he's gonna make you work. Where it's like, I don't know how Leon would handle that.
For sure. All right. Fun one I definitely want to get into. Probably not the biggest names in the world, but definitely connection to you is when we first started talking, you were the young flyweight female fighter that, hey, you got to watch out for Gillian sooner or later. Watch out for Gillian, big things, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden there was this group behind you were the young female flyweights of Macy Barber, Miranda Maverick, and Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill took the L to Jennifer Maia, and not trying to like toot the horn. I literally predicted that, and it wasn't anything bad to Casey. I think Casey's got a huge future in front of her for sure. I just thought it was only 9 months since a torn ACL. And I knew that, and I know some people in that gym, and I know she said she was feeling good, but there's nothing like going 100%. And in the fight, she wanted to go, and I don't think she was 100% back from the surgery to go to 100% in a UFC fight. And Jennifer Maia is one of those like nice, gritty vets. Maybe he's not like A or A+ at anything, but just B+. And she had a good game plan, and I thought she fought really well and deserved the win. But what did you think of Casey O'Neill taking her first L?
It may be coming back from the surgery too soon. It may just be too big of a fight too soon. Like you said, It definitely, Maya's definitely a gritty vet. And it's like, I don't know. I think the UFC's done that with a lot of the young girls, like with the Mirandas, the Macy's, the young up and comers. They've given them big challenges, just a little bit too soon for their careers. So I think it might have just been too big of a matchup for Casey too soon.
Totally agree. Great point by you. They even did it with Erin. I felt like with Erin Blanchfield, she just like passed the test. She like won that match. But you're right. It seems like, especially on the female side, it does feel like the UFC like wants to push 24, 25-year-old maybe a little bit quicker than they want to. So I don't know. There might be something behind it, but I don't know why.
Just something, just because you brought up the name there, that I've been thinking about since we haven't talked about what happened. I think it was 3 weeks ago now with Valentina and Alexa.
Yeah.
What about Blanchfield getting the opportunity now? I'm like, because I feel like Blanchfield beats Alexa. I think Valentina deserves a shot, but I think the UFC might want that.
I really agree with you. I think you're super onto it. Any champion that deserves an immediate rematch, it is Valentina Shevchenko for sure. And she's even like came out, some champions, when they lose, you kind of don't hear them for a second. Like she came out and says, I want the rematch. Like I want to fight Grasso again. And I thought she was winning that fight until that fourth round. I thought she won round 2 and 3 for sure. Round 1 was pretty close if I remember right. But I agree. I think they really like Erin. And let's be honest. And I know Grasso did the takedown and she got a finish on the ground. But like Erin is a different monster on the ground and takedown wise. I think that's a great matchup for Erin, who could be a world champion like in July. Like how wild is that? That before that fight was announced, her versus Vivian, like, we knew Erin was a monster, but you just had to wait and see. Literally in 8 months, she might become world champ. It's wild.
Oh yeah, I think that's an ideal matchup for Erin if she does get that opportunity to become the UFC's youngest female champ. No, I think that would be a huge opportunity for her. But I do like Valentina deserves it more than anyone. Sure. Robin's sitting right behind my little setup here and keeps on licking it.
I was gonna say I definitely feel the puppy for sure. Love it. 2 last things for you, and then we'll run. It's crazy. So tomorrow night, UFC San Antonio. I would love your take. This main event fight is so good, and there's like no middle ground. Everyone thinks Corey Sandhagen's going to win a really good fight by decision, or you think Chito Vera will finally get that TKO in the later rounds. That seems like everyone's opinion. What's yours, G?
Yeah, that's all I've seen on the memes. They're like Corey Sandhagen after beating up Chito for 5 rounds, and it's him knocked out. I don't know. It seems like that's how Chito's fights just have been going. Like Dominic Cruz was outpointing him, outstriking him, and then ended up knocked out. And then, did he have one after that too? That the same thing happened. It was either before or after that. The exact same thing.
Yeah, 2 before. So one member, he was losing to Frankie Egner, and of course he's one of the all-time greats, but we all know Frankie wasn't Frankie anymore. He was losing to him 2 rounds to nothing, and then he caught him with that vicious kick. I think he beat Rob Font. That was a really good fight, but I thought he beat Rob Font pretty handily. But yeah, he kind of like, he takes a round or two to like gather knowledge. Like he doesn't mind getting hit. He kind of walks forward and he's like, he waits for, like, he wants to see a knockout opportunity. And he doesn't throw it wide or right. It feels like he computes it like, okay. And then 2 rounds later, he does it.
Oh yeah, I feel like he doesn't throw a lot, but every shot that he does throw is calculated and he makes it count. He makes sure that every single strike is doing damage. And I think he dropped Dominic like maybe 3 or 4 times in that fight. Just constantly. He wasn't hitting him a lot, but every time he hit him, it was hard.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last thing on the docket for us, Mic Cuddles episode 29. Crazy, it's so fast. I told you that I thought if you weren't a fan of hers already, you would be a fan of Holly Holm. Holly Holm's in the co-main event this weekend. Yana Santos, Thiago Santos' wife. She is 41 years young. You know, shout out to Holly Holm being 41 years old. She looks amazing. She just got a new 6-fight deal from the UFC. So, like, to me, G, like, as any female fighter, it's like, okay, I got 15 years. I got a long runway on this highway. How cool is it that at 41, Holly Holm gets a new 6-fight deal?
Oh, that's super impressive. It's like, to be able to do it, even after the career that she's already had, I'm like, it's super impressive to see her still going. Obviously, she deserves it more than anything. She's left a legacy. And like you said, it opens up a lot of, I guess, a lot of hope, a lot of doors still. We still got a lot of time. There's a lot of girls that are up there. Like, I know Lauren Murphy, I believe she's 38 or 39, and she's still killing it, you know? A lot of these girls, they're still doing very well. And it's like, I don't think it's a little bit older than we expect, you know?
Yeah, you make a great point. I feel like, and you said this multiple times, like with Ronda Rousey kind of like breaking through that glass. A lot of females, you know, Holly Holm was a great kickboxer and all this stuff in boxing. Like, she didn't transfer into MMA until maybe literally 27, 30 years old. And you're 27 now. It's just like she just got into it. And that's why I think these longer careers, I think Roxanne Modafferi, she was 40 or 39 in her last fight. So it's wild. And it is. And that's why it's so impressive to see this kind of the next generation, the generation in a weird way under you, the Aarons and the Macy's and Mirandas and stuff like that. Crazy.
Oh yeah. And it's awesome to see like the even younger generation now, the 4-year-olds and the 6-year-olds that are starting. It's like, I didn't start till I was 16. I didn't have that kind of opportunity. The next generation is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah. My 3-year-old already has put me in an armbar. It's like, come on. Like, Crazy times. All right, G, we'll let you run 3 weeks away from UFC Kansas City. We'll talk to you hopefully at least 1 or maybe 2 more times before the show. Maybe we'll talk to you that week. I know it might be a tough week, but we'll see. We'll kind of figure that out when we do it. But then, of course, our ritual, we'll talk to you after your win at UFC Kansas City and maybe do a little live or something like that after your first strawweight UFC win.
Yeah, we'll see how nice I am fight week, if we can talk or not. But if not, definitely after I win, after I get my, I'll say 2nd round rear naked choke, we'll get talking.
Dude, that's it. That sounds great for our record. Our record will move up another step. I like it.
Oh yeah, got to keep on pushing. I can't let Mackenzie Dern catch up.
I know. I love it. All right, guys, we're out. G, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.